It's me, Mr. Wael Muhammad Ataya. Today's, inshallah, we are going to talk about first year secondary and A-level, and we'll start with the poetry, and it's سنة 18. طبعا قبل ما نبتدي بس بالنسبة للبوتري بتاعت first term بالنسبة ل first secondary، احنا بنتكلم على just one poem في الترم الأول اللي هي اسمها سنة 18. طيب بداية كده قبل ما هنتكلم على سنة 18 it's written by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is known for his poetry and his plays. طبعا William Shakespeare يعني most famous by his plays, but he wrote a lot of sonnets too. يعني ايه كلمة sonnet في البداية؟ ده اللي احنا هنتعرفه في البداية. هنعرف يعني ايه sonnet اصلا. احنا بنقول sonnet 18. طبعا Shakespeare wrote about or more than 140 sonnets. يعني ايه كلمة sonnet بداية؟ ده اللي احنا عايزين نتكلم عليه او عايزين نعرفه يعني ايه كلمة sonnet. لو شفنا في البداية كده the first question we have is what is a sonnet؟ يعني ايه كلمة sonnet اصلا؟ عندنا القصائد عموما في الشعر have a lot of forms. زي عندنا في العربي كده في انواع من الشعر. In English also we have a certain type of poetry which is entitled a sonnet. فيعني ايه كلمة sonnet اصلا؟ ده اللي احنا عايزين نتكلم عليه. كلمة sonnet لما نيجي نعرفها بنتكلم على a poem of 14 lines telling about one idea or one emotion. يعني أنا بتكلم دلوقتي على a poem which consists of 14 lines. يعني ما ينفعوش يكونوا 15، ما ينفعش يكونوا 16. لا، it's fixed. The number of the lines is fixed. الرقم هنا محدد. يبقى أي sonnet لازم it must be a 14 lines poem. لازم تكون قصيدة من 14 بيت فقط، لا أكتر ولا أقل. طيب عندنا في الشعر العربي ممكن الشاعر يبدأ مش عارف بكاء الأطلال ولا الغزل ولا بمعنى إن القصيدة في اللغة العربية ليها أكتر من غرض، لها أكتر من هدف. In the sonnet أو in a sonnet we talk about one emotion, just one emotion or just one idea. If he's talking about love, it's love only. If it's talking about revenge, it's revenge only. If it's talking about مثلا pride سبيل المثال يبقى it's pride only. يبقى بتكلم على شعور واحد. القصيدة ما ينفعش انها تكون بتتكلم على اكتر من شعور او اكتر من فكرة. Is it clear for you or not?
Yeah.
Okay. يبقى عرفنا دلوقتي the definition of a sonnet is a poem of 14 lines telling about just one idea or just one emotion. Let's move to something else. السونتس دي او السونت اللي احنا بنتكلم عليه ده ليه انواع ولا ملوش؟ To express a sonnet or to talk about a sonnet we have two types of sonnets. في عندي حاجة اسمها الإيطاليان sonnet وفي حاجة عندي اسمها Shakespearean sonnet. Would like now to talk about what's the difference between the Italian sonnet and the Shakespearean sonnet. هو الأصل في السونت هو الإيطاليان sonnet. ده اللي هو الحاجة الأولى. That's the first sonnet written. It was Italian. Shakespeare after that عمل إيه بقى؟ He had some modifications. He made some modifications on the Italian sonnet and he called it Shakespearean sonnet. يبقى الأصل عندي الإيطاليان sonnet. لكن شكسبير جه بعد كده عمل some modifications بعض التعديلات وأطلق عليها Shakespearean sonnet. Let's go and see what's the difference between the Italian sonnet and the Shakespearean sonnet. بنقول هنا number one. The Italian sonnet, sorry, there is a mistake. Sorry. That's the Shakespearean. Okay. I'm awfully sorry for that. Okay, the Shakespearean sonnet consists of 3 quatrains and a heroic couplet. هو ده Shakespearean sonnet عبارة عن إيه؟ 3 quatrains. يعني إيه كلمة quatrain أصلا؟ كلمة quatrain it means 4 lines. رباعية يعني 4 أبيات من الشعر. 3 quatrains and a heroic couplet. يبقى Shakespearean sonnet عبارة عن إيه؟ عبارة عن 3 quatrains. 3 رباعيات. لو قلناها كده الناس مثلا كده لو قلت 3 multiplied by 4 equals كام؟ equals 12. يبقى فاضل عندي من 14 lines كام؟ 2 lines. يبقى 3 quatrains and a heroic couplet. يعني ايه heroic couplet؟ ده السؤال اللي هيبقى بعد كده وهنتكلم عن الheroic couplet. يبقى الفرق في الفورم بقى، في الفورم وفي الشكل بين الشكسبيريان سونت والايطاليان سونت. ان الشكسبيريان سونت عباره عن ايه؟ 3 quatrains 3 رباعيات and a heroic couplet. طيب نروح بقى على الايطاليان سونت. الايطاليان sonnet consists of 2 parts. We divide the Italian sonnet into 2 parts. The first part is called an octet. An octet. طب الأوكتت ده عبارة عن إيه؟ عبارة عن a part of 8 lines. The other part is called a sestet and it's 6 lines. يبقى Shakespearean sonnet بيتكون من 3 quatrains and a heroic couplet. والإيطاليان sonnet consists of 2 parts. Octet وsestet. Octet وsestet. الأوكتت عبارة عن 8 lines. والsestet we talk about just 6 lines. 8 plus 6 يديني في النهاية equals the 14 lines اللي احنا بنتكلم عليهم. That's the difference between the Shakespearean sonnet and the Italian sonnet in form. في التركيبة، في الشكل، ده الفرق بينهم. Is it clear or not?
It's clear.
If anyone wants to ask any question about what we had explained, it's okay. Is there any question about what we explained?
No, thank you.
Okay. Let's move to the third question, our introduction to our point today, which is what is a heroic couplet? We talked about 2 things before. We talked about the definition of the sonnet. Secondly, we talked about the difference between the Shakespearean and the Italian sonnet. And now let's go to the third question, which is يعني أصلا what is a heroic couplet? تعريفها عبارة عن إيه؟ طبعا كلنا عارفين كلمة couplet جاية من كلمة couple which means two. طب نشوف. That's the definition of a heroic couplet, which is 2 lines of verse. 2 lines of verse. We here are talking about just 2 lines. 2 lines of verse. Rhyming together. يعني they have the same rhyme scheme. عندهم نفس الرايم سكيم مع بعض. يعني ايه رايم سكيم؟ يعني the same ending. The same ending نفس النهاية. If the first line ends with the letter E, هتلاقي second line ends with the same letter E. طيب يبقى 2 lines of verse دول عندهم نفس الرايم سكيم زي بعض. And summing up دي الفانكشن بتاعتهم، دي الوظيفة بتاعتهم بيعملوا ايه؟ Summing up the whole idea of the sonnet. يبقى احنا بنتكلم هنا على 2 parts. The first part is the form of the heroic couplet. The second one is the function of the heroic couplet. الشكل الاثنين عندهم نفس الرايم سكيم. طب المضمون بقى والوظيفة الفانكشن بتاعتها تعمل ايه؟ Its function is to sum up the whole idea. هي عملية تلخيص الفكرة العامة بتاعت the whole sonnet. These are the three very important questions about an introduction to a sonnet. احنا كده اتكلمنا على what is a sonnet، اتكلمنا على the difference between the Shakespearean and the Italian sonnet، اتكلمنا على what is a heroic couplet. طيب let's move to sonnet 18. ده اللي هو عندنا النهارده ان شاء الله sonnet 18 and let's have the first quatrain. طبعا sonnet 18 اللي بنتكلم عليه النهارده that's a Shakespearean sonnet. نفتكر مع بعض يعني ايه Shakespearean sonnet؟ Shakespearean sonnet معناها ايه؟ معناها 3 quatrains and a heroic couplet. the sonnet we have today اللي هو sonnet 18 ده مكون من 3 quatrains with heroic couplet. طيب let's read together and see what Shakespeare wrote in this poem or in this sonnet. Let's read first. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate, rough winds to shake the darling paths of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Let's paraphrase what we had read. تعالوا كده نشوف المقصود هنا ايه والراجل بيتكلم على ايه. Shakespeare started his sonnet with a question. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shall I make a comparison between you and the summer's day? That's the meaning of the line. Shall I or can I here make a comparison between you and the summer's day? طبعا you هنا المقصودة دي his beloved. He's talking to his beloved. بيسألنا هل ينفع ان هو يعمل مقارنة بين حبيبته وبين يوم من ايام الصيف؟ طيب the first question that comes up to our minds, why a summer's day? اشمعنى a summer's day؟ ليه مش a winter's day مثلا؟ Why did he choose the summer like this? He chose to make a comparison or to ask us if he can make a comparison between his beloved and the summer's day because the summer is the best season in England. دايما معروف to show the greatness, to show the beauty of someone, I should compare between him and someone who is very beautiful. يعني ما ينفعش ان انا عايز ابين مدى جمال حبيبتي يعني فاقول لها هل ينفع ان انا اقارن بينك وبين واروح قايل حد مش جميل اصلا. فين القوه هنا؟ مفيش قوه في المشاعر اصلا. لكن لما اقول لها هل ينفع ان انا اقارن بينك وبين واختار حد اللي هم الستار موفيز اللي هم they are very famous with their beauty. مش بس اقول لها ان انا هقارن بينك وبين الممثله الجميله دي، لا انا هقول لها كمان ان انت احلى منها. That's why he chose a summer's day. يبقى he chose a summer's day to make that comparison because the summer is the best season in England. طيب يبقى هو سأل سؤال shall I compare thee to a summer's day? He didn't expect an answer from us. That's a rhetorical question. ده سؤال بلاغي مش محتاج إجابة مننا. راجل بيسأل shall I compare thee to a summer's day؟ طبعا دي معناها you. Shall I compare you to a summer's day؟ كان الرد إيه؟ The answer we have in the first line, in the second line, which is thou art more lovely and more temperate. الراجل بيقول لها هنا thou, you are more lovely, you are more beautiful, and even more temperate. يعني ايه كلمة temperate اصلا مقصود بيها هنا اللي بنتكلم عليها؟ طيب لما نيجي نتكلم هنا على الجزئية دي. بداية
Mister, can I ask a question?
yes of course.
Is this form new or did we take it before?
Sorry again.
This form new or did we take it before?
No, it's a new one for the first year secondary.
I saw it last year. Okay.
You saw it last year where?
I can't remember.
It's for the first year secondary year in Egypt. First term. You may saw something maybe similar to this. I can't tell you, but it's found in your curriculum for the first year secondary.
Okay.
You are in the first year secondary, right? Okay, you will have it. You will have it in your curriculum this year.
Okay.
Okay, let's see here and the word temperate. يعني ايه كلمة temperate أصلا؟ احنا قلنا خلاص كلمة art اللي هي are more lovely, you are more beautiful and more temperate. Temperate here means you are milder. What's the meaning of the word milder? يعني ايه هنا؟ You are not moody. يعني it means that you are stable in your emotions. And that will be a very good thing when comparison between the summer and his beloved. فاحنا هنا بنتكلم على that comparison. It's very important for the poet himself. طيب, what is the importance of that? The importance of that is to show the beauty of his beloved. Let's move to the third line. But we have the question. Second line, we have the answer for that question. والإجابة هنا بتقول إيه? He cannot make that comparison. Like, why can't he make that comparison between his beloved is more beautiful and is milder than a summer's day? After that, we'll have the justifications for his answer. What do we mean by saying justifications? Justifications for his answers اللي هي his reasons for his answers. تبريرات أسبابه ليه هو بيقول كده. He starts to tell us the defects of a summer's day عشان يبين لنا how beautiful his beloved is. هيبدأ يطلع لنا بقى الديفكتس بتاعت a summer's day، العيوب اللي موجودة في فصل الصيف أو يوم من أيام فصل الصيف. The first thing we have is rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. What do we mean by this? زي ما قلنا هيبدأ يطلع بقى الديفكتس بتاعت a summer's day. بيقول هنا إن a summer's day may be windy. A summer's day may be so windy, and not just windy but rough winds, very strong winds. And these winds هتعمل ايه بقى? Will affect the buds. And the buds we are talking here about very tiny and very small parts of a plant. That line has a lot of things, we can talk about in the beauty of this line. We have rough winds do shake. What is the function of do here? أما أحط do بالشكل ده بتعمل إيه هنا؟ Do here is for making certainty. بتأكد على المعنى. To ensure our meaning. Do shake the darling buds of May. And the word darling here to show that how poor these pots are. He wanted to acquire our sympathy with these pots. الراجل عايز يكسب تعاطفنا مع البراعم الصغيرة دي. فلما نتعاطف معها نفهم ان summer's day is very windy, it's very cool, and it shows that his beloved is more milder, his beloved is more temperate, and her beauty is much more appreciated here. ده العيب الأولاني. That's the first defect in a summer's day. What about the second? The second is, and the summer's lease hath also short a date. Summer's lease, what's the meaning of the word lease? Lease here means a period of time. And the summer's lease means that the period of a summer's day has also short a date is very short. But very short compared to what? Compared to the life of his beloved. يعني لو قارنا between his beloved and a summer's day and as a period of time, طبعا his beloved will live longer. يبقى العيب التاني, the second defect is telling us about is that a summer's day is very short. طيب, to wrap up, عشان بس to wrap up what we had said here in this stanza or this quatrain. يبقى we started with a question. Second line, that's the answer of the question, which is he cannot make that comparison. The third line is a justification for his answer. زي ما احنا قلنا ده تبرير الإجابة. ليه هو بيقول in his beloved is much more beautiful. يبقى number one, because summer's day is very windy. Number two, a summer's day is very short. That's the paraphrase. الكلام اللي احنا قلناه هو ده. The poet asks himself if he can compare between his beloved and a summer's day. He answers by saying he can't do that, as his beloved is more beautiful and milder. A summer's day is cooler and also it's shorter. That's the paraphrase of the first quatrain. Any question about that?
No, it's clear.
Okay, let's move to the second quatrain.